Good education has to be good entertainment, and today's guest does just that. If you have been following her on Instagram, you have definitely learned to speak Malayalam, Tamil, Telugu, Tulu, the difference between Mangalorean and Bangalorean Kannada. And you must have seen some links to the amazing food recipes that she tries out. And I'm sure you have her catchphrases nailed down, like no and easy. Apart from this, she works with an edtech startup in their strategy team. She's also an award winning senior correspondent who has worked with Network 18 and has worked as a host and writer for CNN News 18. We will be discussing about all that and much more as soon as I stop talking. And welcome today's guest, Satshya Tharien. Hi, Satshya. How are you?
Hi, Amrita. Thank you so much for having me on the Unsettling podcast. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, welcome to the Unsettling podcast. So, the first question that everyone has is you have been experimenting so much with your hair. I mean, you've shaved it off, you've grown it, you're a
Yeah.
serial hair colorist, if I'm not wrong. And
Serial.
now you've nailed down on purple and pink. So, how did you choose these two colors? And I mean, they definitely do stand out when we scroll through Instagram, but why these two colors?
There's no really deep answer to this. It's just that I like these colors,
Okay.
and purple's kind of my favorite color. So that's probably it. But of all the colors I've tried, I felt like these ones suit me the most personally. I've tried orange, green, blue, and all of the other colors. But I think I like purple the best. So
Yeah.
that's why this has happened. And I also
Okay.
like the thing with hair colors is every time you wash it, the color keeps changing. Like either it keeps fading or it
Uh-huh.
turns into another color. So this started off as blue, then became purple, then became pink. So I
Oh.
like that is my favorite aspect of it because when a lot of people color their hair, they
Hmm.
have a very certain shade in mind, and everyone gets really upset because every time you wash your hair, the color fades,
Right.
and then they're like, "No, the color faded so fast. What I paid for, it's all gone." But that's the process. Like lean into that process, enjoy it because it's so fun. You get like a different hair color every time you wash your hair.
Oh, nice. I mean, I've not tried hair color myself, but I've seen you and I've been following you since a very long time. And mostly the first thing was, oh my God, look at her hair color. How is she pulling that off? So yeah, so that really stands out and it suits your personality really well. So what made you transition from journalism to digital creation?
Uh, I think it was largely something that there's that phrase that you throw things at the wall and see what sticks.
Uh-huh.
So I started digital content creation as a side thing, like something I just did for fun outside of work. It was a huge stress buster for me, especially while working from home,
Right.
having that little bit of time where okay, you just take a break from work, make a quick video, and then go back to work. Like that
Right.
was the fun part for me. And then because it worked out so well, and I learned so much through the process, I was like, okay, why not see where this goes, because this is where it's really growing right now, especially in India, and I don't want to miss out on this opportunity to explore like this hugely growing new field. And I really enjoyed it, so I thought, why not. So I didn't make the leap directly from journalism to quitting my job and going full time into content creation. I was really scared, and I liked the idea of having a stable career and a stable income. So I had switched to a edtech startup,
Hmm.
and it was really nice because they were very flexible with work timings. They were very encouraging of what I was doing on Instagram, so that gave me that breathing space and that middle ground in that whole transition. And now I'm doing content creation full time,
Hmm.
so I've seen like every aspect of work life, and I really enjoyed the process of it. And I think now I'm in content creation with like a clearer mind and a clearer outlook at it.
Okay. So you just mentioned, there were three phases where one you were working full time, second you had a little bit of breather, and now you are working full time as a digital content creator. So since it's something that you do personally, and we as humans are inanely lazy, how do you manage to create a structure where which you follow till the hilt to the hilt? So what do you do for that? Do you have a structure in mind? How does your day go?
Yes, I at least my personal goal is to have at least one reel every day,
Okay.
except for Sunday. I take a break. But my plan is to put out one reel every day. So either that would entail either filming every day or
Mhm.
filming multiple in one day and then releasing it every day. I'm also trying to build out my YouTube. So I kept a goal for myself that I would put out one YouTube video every week. And I also have a podcast. So again, there I wanted to release one episode every week. So that's how I have a structure in mind. I know these are my goals. So then I can
Mhm.
make a plan as to how I can work and plan my days in order to fulfill all of these. So that's basically how it works. It's just like any other job. You have
Right.
a goal, say it's a project, you have
Mhm.
an end goal in mind,
Mhm.
and then you just plot out how you want to get it done and just make sure that you keep to those timelines. The good and the bad side of it is if you're feeling lazy, you can just be like, yeah, I don't care, and go to sleep. And there's no one to, bother you about it.
Yeah.
But the downside is then you start panicking, like, oh no, I am responsible for whatever I do. So if I slack, it hurts me completely. So, so you can take breaks, but then it's very important to get that motivation to get back on the horse and be like, okay, let me try something new. Let me try creating something new. And that I think only happens when you enjoy what you do. Because once it becomes too much like work
Mhm.
and you don't feel great or excited about what you're doing, then it's very, very hard to stay motivated.
I agree. I mean, it's a little difficult to have that structure in place because one, you're accountable for your own work, and two, like sometimes in the beginning when you don't see that kind of results that you want to see, you tend to lose that kind of motivation. And I mean, you have been doing so well so far. So I just wanted to ask you, I mean, what do you believe in? Do you believe in organic reach, or do you believe that paid promotions work? Because usually what happens is content creators get dejected really fast when they don't see results. So what is your take on it?
Yeah, I think you touched on a very important point about how motivation is largely tied to the results that you see.
Yeah.
And that's very true, especially in terms of content creation, because the numbers are right there. Like you
Hmm.
post a video, you see how many views and comments, etc., you get within 15 minutes, within 30 minutes. Like you can plot everything, the data is right there. So it's literally data points telling you, hey, you're not funny today, or this was a really bad video. So it is dejecting in that way, but I also look at it as, okay, so this didn't work. This is probably why it didn't work, and how can I fix it and try to make it better. And so some of my most successful reels are a result of so many bad or ones that almost were there but didn't quite get there. So it was just that one thing that made the difference. When it comes to organic versus paid reach, I haven't done any paid sponsored posts in the sense of sponsoring my own content so that it reaches a wider audience.
Mhm.
What I have done rather is just see how Instagram functions as a platform. So right now they are pushing reels a lot. So
Right.
if you do reels, you do get a wider audience. So that's why I probably don't do a lot of posts. I don't do any videos, very
Mhm.
rarely videos. So I largely do reels. And there's a way, like you can see sometimes trending audios, or you see the proper hashtags are not, I don't think, so relevant now. But there are
Mhm.
certain hashtags that people follow a certain show or something you're referencing, they would probably find it. So it's all in terms of that. When I look at how can I make it better, because as much as content creation is qualitative
Mhm.
and subjective, it can also be viewed very objectively and quantitatively.
Right.
If you are able to separate yourself from the work that you're doing, which is very, very hard to do when you put so much of yourself into your work.
Yes. I know, I understand. And I mean, it's nice the way you've explained the whole thing. It's mostly trial and error, and also understanding how Instagram works, working on the trends as much as possible so that your reels get pushed out there. Plus, working on yourself so that you feel, oh, these are the insights and how I can make myself better. So, does it ever happen to you that now this particular video did not work, and there are trolls on your video, and you had to handle that, or how did you feel when people did not really appreciate your hard work? So, what did you do in that case?
I think when it comes to the trolls and people like commenting things and making fun of you,
Mm-hmm.
as a creator, it honestly doesn't bother you so much after a point, because now you look at it and you're like, haha, engagement. Or, every time someone comments or tags their friend, like, look at this shit, dude, you're like, Thanks, you're bringing more views to my video. And I think that's the only way you can keep your sanity is if you view it that way. Um, there are certain videos where you watch it and you feel a little disappointed that it didn't work as well. And a lot of people tend to blame the algorithm and say, Instagram hates me, it's shadow banning me.
Mhm.
But the thing is, or the truth is, there are a lot of things probably sound funnier in your head
Hmm.
or make sense to you as an individual, but you haven't communicated it in the right way to your audience. So there are a couple of videos where I've seen it and it hasn't worked as well, and then I would send it to my friends and I'm like, did you find this funny? And they'd be like, no, like this part was probably too fast, so I didn't understand it. So those are the kind of feedback that really helps you introspect as a creator and be like, at the end of the day, you're creating stuff that you like, but you also want to share with other people. And if people don't get what you're trying to do, then it's a wasted effort on your end
Correct.
as well, right? If you're doing it for your own vanity. So it's very important to see audience feedback. And it's I think there are two factors that you look at it, either in terms of the shares, because people share things that they find interesting, funny, or relatable.
Mhm.
And the second is the comments. And the comments are my favorite because I love interacting with people, and when they share their own experiences of maybe something that I've done on. So that's my favorite part. So if there's a post where people aren't commenting much, I wonder, like, okay, did they not get it, or did
Mhm.
I was not funny enough?
Mhm.
And so I then again, like, it's you take learnings from
Introspect
it and
and
you're like,
work on
okay, I can
yourself.
do it. Yeah.
Right,
You
right.
shouldn't at the beginning, everyone as a creator feels like, oh no, I am bad,
Yeah.
or people don't find me funny. It's just that they don't find what you've created funny. Like, that separation of your personality as a creator versus you as a person is very important if you want to be here in the long run, because otherwise you tend to get very burnt out, or
Mhm.
it's really bad for your mental health.
Oh, right. Oh, that's an interesting approach. Okay, thank you. So, everybody wants to know, since it's unsettling and people want you to settle down usually. So, I want to ask you, is there scope in this? The typical question, is there scope in digital creation?
Yeah,
Monetary
it's
wise, yeah.
incredible. I think, oh man, like, so much. This sector, especially because it's just growing and it's on that inflection point in India, especially, the
Hmm.
possibilities are endless. So, um, I think that when I started doing this, I was doing it just for fun. When I saw that there was opportunities both in terms of monetary compensation plus opportunities to collaborate with other creators and work on more creative projects, I was like, I really need to take this opportunity because I really like this and I find it exciting. So if someone is thinking about, if someone who's listening to this podcast is a fledgling creator, and you hear that you're doing well and you want to do this for longer, I would definitely say there's a lot of potential in this space as a career, but you have to be consistent. It's only
Yes.
when you are able to build yourself and create, I guess, a portfolio for yourself, that brands would come or other creators would come and be like, hey, can you make a video together?
Mhm.
And that's what keeps you going. So, in terms of
Oh.
scope, so much in this field.
Wow. I mean, you've put it out so well. Consistency is the key, and creating a portfolio, as you said, because as long as there's a portfolio and people know what kind of work you can do, that is when
Yeah,
collaboration happens in terms of branding and other creators as well.
exactly.
So, well, how did your experience as, working with a network help you with digital creation? What are the things that you brought into this?
Working with a network, as you mean, like working in the corporate world and having like
No,
a,
as a host, I guess you were hosting as well. You were a correspondent as well. So, did that
yeah,
help you out?
yeah,
What are the
that was
things
the
that you
whole
brought in?
journalism.
Acha.
Yeah. So in terms of that, I think it would be being comfortable on camera,
Okay.
which I had professional experience in it,
Right.
so I was fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't feel, a lot of people have to get over that camera shyness in order to do videos, right? So I didn't face that as too much of a problem.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing was scripting. Again, I had professional experience in that.
Oh, yeah.
What I did find challenging in the beginning was just I had never used TikTok before. So when it was popular, I'd never used TikTok. I'd never watched videos. I only knew it as the cringe app. And now I realize I was so wrong because because Instagram Reels is kind of similar to it, right? I realized like, whoa, there was so much of creativity on there, and it took me a while to get used to the interface of how it is because I really like editing videos on my laptop like for work and stuff like that. So that was a bit of a challenge, and also I didn't do a lot of funny work. I was doing a lot of serious work with regard to politics and the
Yeah.
news and all of that. So for me, I've also never considered myself a funny person. I'm terrible at telling stories to my friends. So
Okay.
for me, that challenge was in scripting and making something sound funny and making a joke where if my brother laughed at one of my videos, then I'd be like, okay, it's funny because he wouldn't laugh. He doesn't laugh at my jokes otherwise. So
Okay.
so that's why I think edutainment was my way to go because I knew from what my professional life that I liked explaining things, I
Mhm.
liked scripting things, I liked editing and being on camera, basically being a storyteller.
Mhm.
So that's the approach I took to making videos on Instagram and YouTube as well.
Okay. I understand the brother part. I mean, making my brother laugh is also very difficult. If he laughs, then it is like the funniest joke.
Seriously, seriously. Because
They are on.
sometimes
Yeah.
I send him also the video and I'm like, do you think this is funny? And he's like, no. I'm like, okay, I won't post it. Ooh, okay.
Oh God, yeah.
Not
Even
his
my brother,
audience.
he's the worst critic. I don't show him videos, and like it is already posted online. If you want to see, you see. Oh God, that is what I've
Yeah.
been doing so far. So, since you said, you have transitioned, and the most important part is that you were not camera shy. Now, assuming there's a digital creator who's just started out and they're camera shy, are there any tips that you would like to give them to, overcome this fear?
This is actually based on what some other creator had told me. So this was a creator who was so camera shy, had never done anything when they were in school or college, been on stage, nothing. And for me, through school, through college, I've liked like giving speeches and things like that. So I'm comfortable speaking to an audience. So
Mhm.
from their perspective, what they told me was that they just practiced making trial videos, just kept the phone in front and just made trial videos, and they would show their parents and be like, how does this work? So their parent would give feedback like,
Mhm.
do it like this, do it like that, do it like this. Another thing that works is looking into looking into a mirror and doing it. But I honestly think as a digital creator, the doing like looking at the camera and doing a trial run of whatever it is you want to do is the best because you can rewatch it, you can see what works, what doesn't. And
Mhm.
even now, a lot of the times when I have an idea, I do a sample trial when I'm
Mhm.
sleeping in bed like this. I just go through the script and I say it out loud, and then I realize, okay, it's funny. Okay, it's not. Okay, I need to fix this. So that's a great way to gain confidence. And if you feel like once you've done the video, you are very shy about posting it. You feel like, oh my god, what will people think? Send it to your friends and get feedback. And then your friends will tell you, okay, this was good, this was not. And then maybe you will have the confidence to post it and receive feedback from people you don't know because that's the most honest feedback because those people have no stake in your life, right?
Right.
They can say whatever they want, not fearing the consequences, and which
Exactly.
is a good thing and a bad thing. But yeah, it's great that kind of feedback,
Ah, yes.
unfiltered feedback.
I know. I mean, even I had a difficult, way to transition from. I used to give speeches on stage and everything, but then when it comes to camera, it is completely different, right? You have to look into a lens and talk, and it is much more difficult to do so because you feel as if you're talking to yourself and you sound like an
Yeah.
idiot. But then apparently, this is what people are doing now, and this is the new normal. So no option but to do it.
Yeah, and
um,
after a while, you
yeah,
get used to it, right? You
yeah.
just you're like, yeah, cool, let him do.
I agree. I agree. I mean, I used to post small videos of, takeaways from my podcast because I never knew how to do a video podcast before. I was not good at editing, so I used to do audio podcasts and then put up takeaways from the podcast so that people would listen to it. And my friend gave me this feedback. She said, in the beginning, you used to sound so shy, so power. She's like, oh yeah, please listen to the podcast. And now you're like, sunne ka to suno, nahi sunna to mat suno.
Yeah, yeah. You know, something I realized is uh, especially during that whole cringe video era where people would share videos and be like, or if they would share videos of people would posting it like, look at a dancing dude or look at his acting.
Yeah.
Secretly, everyone in their heart is a little jealous, like, oh my god, you have the confidence to first of all like do this on camera and then post it for the world to see. And at the end of the day, that's what people also like watching. They like seeing you as yourself, or even if they see you on screen, you have to be like double the energy, right, that you're on for it to translate, because they're
Yeah.
not with you in person for them to sense all. You're just like a flat image on a screen. So it comes with time, it comes with practice. Some people are still great at being like shy and deadpan and still doing great at it because that's their personality and that's
Right.
what works.
I agree. I agree. So I just wanted to know, was there ever a low point in your digital creation where you felt, oh my God, what am I doing? Should I continue doing this? Or, you were all cool with it?
No, I think everyone goes through that, especially when I don't know, like there was this period I remember where I had gone on a break for a week, I think, and then I started losing followers, even though I was doing the same type of content.
Right.
And I was like, what is going on? Like suddenly, that graph you see on Instagram, it went down like to the negative side, and
Oh,
I was like, why am I losing followers? I'm doing the same type of content, and that was very discouraging. And you feel like, oh no, maybe my time is done. Like I had a good run, I got lucky, and now I'm boring or people don't like me anymore, so I should just stop. And it's a very difficult thought, it's a very difficult thing. Then like I spoke to a couple of my friends, I just talked it out, and I was like, you know what, okay, anyway people don't like me, probably let me just do whatever I want now. Like let me not do things that probably people were expecting me to do, but whatever idea I had, let me just try it. And eventually, as you keep posting, it'll start going up again. But that thing keeps happening where you go through a downward slump in terms of followers. I don't know if it's Instagram getting rid of bot accounts or what, but I know that everyone goes through this because another creator had also posted a screenshot of their following
mhm.
saying, is this happening to anyone else? And I was like, I'm not alone. Like, it's not just me.
Right.
When you when you get so tied to those numbers, no, then it is quite discouraging. And there are times where you don't get any ideas. Suppose
Mhm.
like I've kept a goal that I want to post a video every day, but say today I don't have an idea of what to put in. Like I don't want to put just anything for the sake of posting. So it's just today I'll be like, oh, it's okay. Today I won't post. I'll post when I have an idea.
Right.
So it's if you're not feeling good mentally by yourself, you're going through a tough time, there's a fight or whatever, then you won't feel motivated to post. And the thing about that is you have to be able to tell yourself that it's okay. I'll just take a break for a while. Instead of putting just anything out there, let me just take a break, become okay myself, and then put things out there. Because if you're posting something when you're not that great in
Mhm.
your headspace, a, it won't be that great. B, the comments will, even if they're regular mean, you will feel like they're extra mean because you're
Yeah.
already in that headspace, right? So it becomes like a very vicious cycle.
Mhm.
So it's good to have other people around you who keep you grounded, and who you just feel like, okay, the world, my entire existence is not just Instagram or
Right.
this social media platform. I am other things as well. So there is value to me, there is worth to me. Maybe this is not working right now, but I'll figure it out.
Okay, that's quite deep actually, and it's very important, to be able to get out of that rut mentally, because, as you said, it's difficult, when you have been putting in so much effort and the graphs go down, and then, yeah, it feels very scary that maybe this thing might not work out. So, is there any, message or any learning from your experience that you would like to share with the up and coming crowd who are doing digital creation?
Oh, the main thing is consistency. I used to hear this from a lot of other creators and YouTubers that you need to be consistent, but it is complete consistency. You have to regularly, it's for a couple of things. Because if you keep posting regularly, your audience becomes familiar with what you do, they understand what you do, and because you are consistently posting on the platform also recognizes you and keeps pushing your videos further. There are
Right.
some people who post like 3 times a day, 4 times a day. I don't know how they have the time to like, make those videos so often. And but the thing is, because they keep coming on my feed, I become familiar with them. It's not like I followed someone and they don't post for 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks I forgotten them, and then they post again. I'm like, who is this? Like, why? When did I start following this person? And you would
Yeah.
probably unfollow them. And consistency also works for your personal benefit, because as you keep creating, you start learning how to improve yourself. Maybe it's editing, scripting, if you're a dancer, your moves, whatever, fashion, transitions, all of that. So it's only when you keep doing something that you can get really good at it, and you understand what works, what doesn't. And it's a challenge for yourself, right? Because it's not easy being
No.
consistent. Like, it's
Yeah.
very easy to just say, oh, let me take a day off, let me take 2 days off. And especially when you don't see the results, you feel like, what am I doing this for? Like, I put in so much effort and it's
Yeah.
not even paying off. um, but the more you keep posting, trust me, one of those videos will work out, or one of those podcasts will work out, something will work out. And then people who follow you for the first time will then see you have done so many other things, then they'll be like,
Mm.
okay, this person is interesting, let me follow them, let me subscribe to them. And that's how you succeed as a content creator. So if you're up and coming, if you made 5 videos and none of them worked, keep doing. Maybe your sixth one will work, maybe your 10th one will work. If none of them work, then just look at your content and be like, would I like this kind of videos? Like, ask your friends, like, do you find this interesting, do you find
Yeah.
this share worthy? It's always good to do a little bit of what's the word, an audit of your
Mhm.
work, and then work things out from there.
Okay. This is quite informative. Actually, I'm going to take this back and use this as a learning for myself. I'm going to make a note of this. Consistency is the key, and do not be dejected if things don't work out. Something will. Apna time aayega, अच्छे दिन आएंगे.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
all the dialogues from, from Gully Boy to Puri covered all the topics.
yes. Politics to entertainment, everything done.
Right, right.
Oh God. So coming to the final question of the podcast, I asked this to everybody. It's called Beta, what does being settled mean to you?
What does being settled mean? I guess just being content, I
Yeah.
guess, in what you're doing. Uh, I would feel very content sitting at home, making one video every day, spending time with my family, uh, playing with dogs and cats, cooking something. Like, that's for me is like a perfect day. While it's great to travel and experience all of these new things, at the core of it, if you're happy by yourself with loved ones around, and you have good friends around you, that's for me being settled. And I kind of feel like I've reached that point in life where my family is great, I have made good friends, and I've kind of figured out what I want in life. So as long as it keeps going like this, then great. And yeah, that's being
Touch
settled
wood.
for me.
All the best to you, and you do sound content with what you do. And since you are content and creating content, it's amazing. I mean, we've been following you for a while, my friends and I. And honestly, I would just like to say that please do keep creating and sharing this knowledge with people. You have got an amazing persona, seriously. And I mean, I would love to see you grow by leaps and bounds. I'm here as a supporter, but definitely the good comments are coming from me. Don't worry. So
Thank you. I'll be
I,
looking like Amrita, Amrita.
I'm there. I'm
What
there
is
in
it?
all your comments. But now you'll know who I am. That's it.
Thank you. This was such a nice, lovely conversation. And all the best to your podcast.
Thank
I
you.
had a great time, and I would love to see you grow as well and do wonderful things and share
Thank
great
you.
information with people. So,
Yeah, that is why I started this podcast, because I realized that there are a lot of people who transition from a particular job or a career and move on to something else. So there are a lot of taboo topics that we don't like talking about much. And I just wanted to create this podcast to make an awareness that there are other people out there who are doing the same. And, you can get inspired by it at some point of time,
Yeah.
at some level, and it might help you out, at least to get that kind of, inspiration and motivation to do what you love. So this is my
Yeah.
small attempt to do that.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think we should have more people talking about their failures because uh, that's a better learning
Yes.
experience for a listener
Yes.
than when someone talks about, oh, I did all these things, I succeeded, I accomplished all these things. I love hearing about people's failure stories because
Yes.
we're all in the same boat, and it's about how they made that switch from, oh, this failed to, okay, I'm going to try again.
Yeah.
That point is very difficult to reach.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I think if you're able to provide that to listeners, you're making a huge difference in people's
Thank
mindsets.
you. So thank you. These were all my questions. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I had a great time.
Thank you so much for having me. This was wonderful.